Hi everyone, welcome. Just taking a moment to allow everybody to get in here to fill up the room. Let me know if you're here. Say hi. Love to hear from you. I'm just making sure I'm setting up that you can hear me. So yeah, if you are in here, let me know that you can hear me. I'd love to have your feedback on that and make sure that everything is running in the right order. We'll just give it a couple minutes or so to make sure that we are working properly on this beautiful sunny day here in Germany that I have coming to you live. Yes, it's a gorgeous day, and I don't see it coming up yet in my live feed here. Oh, where are we? Where are we? Where are we? Let's restart the page. Oh, here we are. So wonderful. Now, I am happy to be here today with you on this lovely day. Again, let me know that you're here. Send me a hello. If I don't reply to your comment exactly when we're live, it's just because I can't type, but I will do my best. If you have any questions or need any clarification on information that I give, type it in the comments and I will, if I don't read it at the time, I will come back to it definitely later and be able to address your comment. So let me know that you're here. If you're watching on a replay, also you can type hashtag replay, and then I know that you're here as well watching this. So I just get the idea and get to understand who's here and what the information is that you want. And like I say, just by saying hello, I can hear and feel your energy, and I get that from you. And then we can also sometimes, it can help to guide where I talk today and what I'm discussing. So yeah, please don't be shy. I'm not going to be asking you personal questions. And if I do ask a personal question and you don't feel comfortable answering, that's okay too. Then just give some time for yourself to have a little bit of thought about that as well, because that's just what it's about, opening the awareness. But, when we're in this community and in this safe place, it is a good opportunity to stand up sometimes and say, yeah, I've felt that, or no, I disagree, or, being able to express our opinions is also important and part of being healthy, really. So yeah, welcome on this beautiful Tuesday, tasty Tuesday today. And we have a special date today, 22/3/22, or however you write the dates. In Germany, we do date or day, month, year. But anyways, we have lots of twos in the date today, which actually we do all year, of course, because we have 22 as a year. But we also have the information sorry, not the information. We have the two number is a pair or balance. So it's a really interesting number, or when we look at numerology, we can and see the energy behind these kinds of numbers as well, which is really interesting, and I quite like it. So yeah, it's a good date today. Every date's a good day if we choose so, but sometimes these things can give us a little bit extra boost if we choose also to tap into the energy of it. So welcome. Thank you for coming here today and to watch this video. Again, let me know that you're here and say hi. Today we are going to talk about mental health, and it can be a little bit of a heavy topic for some people, but it doesn't necessarily have to be. And I understand if you have suffered from mental health issues, or if you still suffer from mental health issues, it can be really challenging. I don't want to downplay that in any way. And if you are taking medication, please do what you feel is best for your body. But also know, by the information I shared to you today, there is other options to help support you as well. So we're going to get right in. I'll just have a sip of my coffee here. I do have coffee this morning, or it's actually noon already, but I have a little bit. I have, I just felt like it. I don't usually drink coffee at this time of day and don't always drink it, but I felt like having it today. So that's okay. Here we go. So, and to get started, I'd like to just give you a little introduction for myself. If you're not familiar, my name is Lori Voss Furukawa. I'm originally from Canada, and in 2005, I moved to Japan, and I was an English teacher there, and I met my husband, and we lived together a couple more years there, got married, and then moved to Japan in 2009. And in that time frame of our move to China, I had to take some vaccines, and that shifted my health tremendously. It Many years I thought it was a horrible thing, and I suffered through it, but I have come to realize that actually it was a blessing in disguise, because it put me on my healing journey, and it allowed me to become empowered in the approaches that I take for my health and for my wellness. And it really turned my life around, because a lot of, perhaps it's the reality that the vaccines, kind of made the pot boil over, and gave me a tremendous amount of pain in my cycle every month. But there was unhealthy practices that I was doing previously. It wasn't just that factor. So it's important to always look at the whole picture, and definitely whatever was triggered in my body at that point in time in my life helped me to shift a lot of different things that were plaguing my body. So I have a lot of credit actually for that space. I don't want to just, I'm not an anti-vaxxer by any means. I do believe that they do have purposes in our life, but we must be careful and think about our bodies and what they are able to deal with when we put these kinds of different things into them, how the reactions can actually be. So, yeah, and in 2010, I really started to think about how I can help myself and what can I do. And I started doing some online learning, some energy work. I was already doing yoga. I started practicing Tai Chi in China, which I was super happy to have access to. And I also started learning traditional Chinese medicine at that time. The teacher that I had was giving a very broad approach to traditional Chinese medicine, like tongue reading, pulse reading, these kinds of things. I mean, that's traditional Chinese medicine, doctor approach and diagnosis approach. When they are going to, if you ever see an acupuncturist, for example, they should be looking at all those factors, and I'm sure they are. If you see an acupuncturist that does not do pulse reading and read your tongue and ask you a whole bunch of questions about what's going on in your body, I suggest looking for one that does, because that's an important concept or proponent for looking into TCM. And in 2008, I actually had the opportunity to study TCM again. I refer to it always as TCM because that's just the easiest way. And actually, that's the normal or common way of people calling it, traditional Chinese medicine. In 2018, I had the opportunity to study specifically TCM nutrition, and that changed my life. Absolutely, for the better. I was really suffering actually with a lot of anxiety, which ties into today our topic, which is, how does our diet affect our mental health? And it's really potent, and a lot of people overlook it, including doctors, because doctors tend to have their studies specifically in a space where they are working on teaching and looking for pharmaceutical solutions. So that makes a difference when we think about nutrition, right? So yes, where am I? Yeah, so the mental health aspect of nutrition connecting to our diet and how that actually feeds in. So as I was saying, I had a lot of anxiety actually in 2017 when we just had moved to the Philippines. And I had a lot of it for a lot of different reasons, but one of which was my diet had changed as well. Again, I wasn't going into that space being super healthy and super pumped, because it was the following year that I really got a level up on my TCM nutrition. But in 2017, I had a lot of health issues that came up, and the anxiety that was in my space was so intense, and I had such a hard time breathing so often, and I didn't know what was the trigger. It was really hard, as anybody who has ever dealt with anxiety would know. And I did a lot of the energy work and I used all the tools that I had, but I could not shift what was going on. And it specifically went with my breath. And eventually, in 2018, when I was able to study TCM nutrition on a deeper level, I really, really, really realized the connection to what we're putting in our mouths and how that affects what's going on up here and mentally and emotionally. So there's huge differences. And yes, I was able to help shift the anxiety in my space by shifting my diet. And it doesn't happen overnight, but we'll get into that. So I wanted to just share a little story also. When I was a child, I had an unfortunate abundance of junk food or processed food that was available to me. And I also was sick often as a child, and I took a lot of antibiotics, and that affects the microbiome or our gut health. And it basically means that our immune system is affected negatively, and everything goes in that cycle. So when we are sick and we take antibiotics, we take out all the bacteria out of our gut, healthy and unhealthy bacterias. So therefore, we provide the opportunity for sickness to come in easier again. And it goes round and round. So naturally, if we are often sick, we are going to be feeling a mental burden. That is a very natural connection. If you are easily ill, oh man, I'm sick again, maybe you can't go to work, you can't do your daily activities, you can't be functioning, you can't do things, so you're often sick and unwell. You get in that perpetual cycle of being unwell, physically and mentally. This body that you've been given in this lifetime is a complete whole. So absolutely, if you are getting sick regularly, you are going to be having mental health issues. I feel quite confident. I haven't done a specific study on it and I don't have a statistic to give you, but it makes logical sense that mentally you're not in a good space if your body is always continuously sick. I shouldn't say always, but say every couple months or so, if you're getting sick, if you're coming up with cold sores or flus or colds or coughs or digestion issues or whatever is ailing you on a regular basis, that's going to naturally affect your mental health. Okay? Have you ever noticed your diet affect your mental health? For example, if you've eaten certain foods, do you notice an effect right away? Or how do you have you ever had that awareness? Let me know in the comments. Let me know. I'd love to hear from you. Is there any correlation for you in that you've noticed in your life between your actual diet, the food that you put in your mouth? And when I say diet, I'm not referring to a fad diet like keto diet or paleo diet. I'm talking about the general food that you put in your mouth. Okay, that's an unfortunate reality. Also, the word diet tends to refer to weight loss programs, and I speak about diet. I'm speaking about the dietary requirements or the dietary nutrition that you get in the day. Okay, so do your best to listen to me with open ears in terms of not just diet as in a slimming product or getting slimmer. Okay, so have you ever noticed your diet affecting your mental health? And actually, that's a good point. Maybe you have taken a specific diet pill or supplement or a specific diet regime on in your life before, and have you noticed it has it affect your mental health positively or negatively? Let me know. I'd love to hear from you. Also, just let me know if you are here. Say hello. Give me your name in the comments. Say hello. Let me know how you're doing. Also, you can let me know where you're listening from. I'd love to hear that because I really love traveling, and I can kind of travel vicariously through you if you let me know where you're from. So, from a TCM perspective, from a traditional Chinese medicine perspective, everything is energy, and we have this symbol that's called the Yin and Yang symbol, and I'm pretty sure you've all seen it. It has half black, half white. Traditionally, it's colored with, if it's the black side, it has a little white dot in it, and if it's the white side, it has a little black dot in it. And this Yin Yang symbol is continuously in fluctuation, and it means that everything is energy. And it's either going to fall into this category of being on the yang side of things, which the yang side of things is the hot, the sun, the masculine, the fire, the passion. And neither side is good or bad. We need balance. That's why if you've ever looked at the symbol, you will see there is a perfect balance. Since we are living human beings, we don't have perfect balance within our body, but we strive for the balance. Okay. And I just spoke about the yang side and the yin side, which would be cooling, nighttime, or the moon. Also a restful space, more nurturing, associated also with the feminine. So there's these different aspects. Again, we strive for balance. We can't have all passion and fire in our life, or we'd never be sleeping and resting. And we can't have all cooling and nurturing and feminine energy, or we'd all be like curled up in our bed or our bathtub all the time, not actually doing anything. We really need to have that balance. And that balance is a living cycle. And it's, like I say, it's always in fluctuation. And that is what we need to focus on for true health, the balance. And when we think about mental health, if we are in a depressive state, or if we're dealing with anxiety, that's a sign that something is out of balance. And it's basically, we can use these kinds of signs that come up for us as indicators that exactly something's out of balance. How can I help to make this in a better space? And of course, there is the right time and space for all types of healing. And if you need Western medical intervention, and if you need pharmaceutical drugs to help bring the chemicals in your brain into better balance, by all means, take that step and do that. It doesn't necessarily mean that you need to be on those pharmaceutical drugs for the rest of your life. Maybe it helps you get out of a space that you've been really low and heavy in. And then you can look into, or even during taking those pharmaceutical drugs, we can also work on nutrition to help support your body. So when we eat foods that are live, fresh, from the garden, from growing from the earth, they are full of life force. And if you've followed or listened to any of my videos before, you've certainly heard me speak about life force. Life force is that chi, that energy, the prana, that what keeps us standing and talking here today. When we don't have life force, we're just a dead bag of bones, because no life force means you're dead. That's so simple. So we need to eat a diet that is full of life force, and that is going to naturally provide us with energy. And when we eat something like sprouts, for example, that is pure life force energy, especially if they're raw. And I'm not advocating for a raw diet. Careful, don't jump to conclusions. But I am saying raw life force sprouts are a really amazing addition to your diet that will help to bring healing and overall health into your space. It's not only like eating a little bit of sprouts every day is going to just be the ticket answer, because there is many components to being healthy, but they are going to play a key role in your health, because we need that live food that just provides us with that life force. It's almost like if you see a flower when it's alive, you can see it's like smiling and shining towards the sun in its beautiful colors, and it maybe has a beautiful smell as well, as opposed to a flower that's already had its lifetime and it's dying and wilting. That life force, you can physically see the life force is wilting away until it becomes completely dead. So we need to focus on eating life force nutrition in our diet, foods that are full of life force, foods that are full and vibrant and alive. If we eat foods that are processed on a regular basis, we're only human. So of course, maybe when you go out to a restaurant, or maybe you have a snack in your house that might be like a box of crisps or crackers or cookies or something like this, that would be considered processed food as well. Or even if you make homemade cookies, they're also considered processed. But okay, like I say, we're only humans. I'm not saying like never again, but we need to consider really eating these things in absolute moderation, because those products that are processed, they come from a bag, they come from a box, they have no life force. There is no smiling flower. There is no roots that came from the ground. There is no substance. There's no life substance within that food that is going to help your body. Actually, those foods become a burden in your body. See that are we back here? I see that there was a small reconnection issue, so hopefully we're back and that you didn't miss anything from here. Please say your hi if you are watching this. I'd love to know that you're here. Don't be shy. If you don't know me, it's okay. We can get to know each other. And if you do know me, that's okay too. That's awesome. I'm so happy that you're here. So just let me know. I really would love to hear from you. So I was talking about dead processed foods, basically, they become a burden in our system. And if they are a burden for our digestion, they also become a burden for your entire body, potentially causing different illnesses and diseases, and also connecting directly to your mental health. Again, this whole system, this whole body from your head to your toe is a whole complete system. And if there's one bad piece going in, it's going to affect the whole. And I'm not saying just, like I say, eating one cookie. This is, eating regularly. Maybe you could say, well, I only eat it once a week, or I only have dessert on Sundays. Okay, but are you doing it for the last 20 years? That's a pretty long time. That's quite an accumulation there as well. And again, if you only think about the one dessert, but then what about on Tuesdays when you go out for your friends with coffee, and on Wednesday nights you go out with your husband for dinner, and then you do this, and it's like, oh, wait a second, all these different things, and you had a snack there and there and there, and that happens every day. And you can count how all these things, or maybe you can't even count because it's just so abundant. It's time to really start considering, what is it that you want to do with your life? And I understand that these foods taste good, but when your body isn't working well, and that eating these foods put your body at risk for really being healthy, we need to start making more conscious decisions on, what are we doing and how do you want to live your life? Because if we continue to do those things, you will continue to see degradation of your physical health, your mental health, and also your emotional health. Absolutely. Eating McDonald's, these kinds of things, or fast food products on a regular basis as well. These foods have no value in our body. They're only bringing burdens. Plus, they're riddled with chemicals. So I'm pretty sure you get where I'm going with this. Let me know in the comments, how does this feel for you? And I don't mean to be upsetting for you if it is part of your diet. I am here to bring awareness so you understand that there is other choices for you. You don't need to be depressed. You don't need to be sitting in this horrible mental state of anxiety and depression and this weight on your shoulders, because when we start to change what we're putting in here, it's going to naturally shift what's going on inside of us. Again, I understand that there is people out there that do have an actual chemical imbalance in their brain. I get it. I have people in my life like that do need regular medication, and I encourage them, continue to take your medication so you can function properly. But be mindful of what you put in your mouth, because that will contribute also to your success in being a happy, healthy individual in this world, even if it's only for you. Okay? So when also I talked earlier about the yin yang component, so it's either, this yang, fiery, passive, or the yin, more quieter, calmer, nighttime, cooling energy. There's always that fluctuation. And if you want to think about, because we in the my TCM courses, or in nutritionally empowered transformations, we definitely talk about about yin and yang, and how different foods fall into each of those different categories. And we talk about even bringing in which foods during the day, or which foods are better in the evening, like dinner time to eat, or breakfast, because all these things have different components in them and different energies in them. And if we think about foods that come out of a box, like let's just go back to a box of cookies, for example, they don't even fit in this yin yang category, because they are just toxic for our body. When we really look at it from a TCM perspective, they actually don't serve us. Now, you might say, well, that cookie made me feel better because I was having a really crappy day and I ate that chocolate bar and it made me feel better. Okay, fine, I'm not going to argue with you, but I think you get what I mean, because I also like eating chocolate sometimes too, and it does feel sometimes good. But there's, that's a whole nother live session that we can do on emotional eating, and how we feed ourselves through our emotions that we experience as well. So basically, what I wanted to say was, foods that don't have a live component in them are toxic and are considered dead in terms of nutritional value and what they bring into our body. And it makes sense if we are eating these kinds of dead foods on a regular basis, they're gonna bring us down. And that's gonna affect our mental health also. Okay? Um, and there's also a direct link from our health of the microbiome in our gut, or the gut flora and fauna that exists in here, to our mental health, to our brain. When we were little baby fetuses in our mother's womb, and when that fetus develops, there's a connection where the nutrients go into the baby and it goes in through the belly button, direct into the tummy, which actually goes up and it's connecting to our brain because we had brain development as a fetus. So that connection of gut health and brain health was developed when we were still in our mother's womb. If it didn't develop, none of us, or you wouldn't be here. Because that's necessary. So there is actual, not only the energetic component that I talk about and what we can see from a TCM perspective in the yin and yang, but there is an actual scientific component, a physical component that connects what's going on in here to what's going on up here. Studies are out there. If you need scientific proof, go do some more research. I encourage you to do some more research. Find the information out there that feels better for you. Yes, because it's important. So yes, actually, I have a little bit of time. I wanted to see the time. I'll share this story. So just the other day, I found a TEDx talk. And I didn't need this TEDx talk to prove to me that what goes on in here connects up here. But I thought, you know what, I'll watch this anyways because I like TEDx, and lots of times they have really amazing speakers on there. And this specific lady was speaking about about a film. She was a clinical psychologist, I believe, from New Zealand, perhaps Australia, but anyways, either one of those countries. And she spoke about how in her practices they have not studied at all nutrition, as many of us have come to know already, that Western medical doctors do not study nutrition pretty much at all. I think like a little bit, there's like one chapter or something ridiculously small. So their goal is when they have patients or clients that they see, they assess them, and their solution is some type of pharmaceutical drug that will help to solve the problem. However, she said she came across a study that was actually first conducted in Alberta, Canada, that had a person who was working on nutrients, specifically micronutrients, and how micronutrients given in large dosages was positively affecting the mental health of these patients that they were working with. So this clinical psychologist from, I'll say New Zealand, because that's where the talk was done whatever. So anyways, so this clinical psychologist from New Zealand decided, hey, wait a minute, I'm going to do some more research myself. She started talking to some of her colleagues, and everybody was kind of like, yeah, rubbish, rubbish, rubbish. No, 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 no. We work with pharmaceutical drugs. That's how we need to help our people. So she said, I'm doing these researches anyways. And she continued to do, I don't remember how many studies she did. And basically, she found absolutely positive results by giving her patients dosages of micronutrients, high dosages of micronutrients. She had many studies conducted, some that were still on pharmaceutical drugs, some that didn't have any more pharmaceutical drugs. Some had a placebo effect. They were not given the actual micronutrients. They were given a placebo. And basically, in all of the different cases, there was improvements as a whole for people's mental health. And unfortunately, a lot of the pharmaceutical drugs, she goes on to explain as well, it's not only me talking here, that a lot of pharmaceutical drugs that are given for mental health have long-term side effects and actually don't help the person to get out of the state. They kind of just like make it a perpetual state. So they're always continuously needing these drugs. But when the patients were given micronutrients as a solution, they actually were able to overcome their anxiety, their depression, their ADHD, their post-traumatic stress disorders, all these many different things that are affecting suicidal people, so many different things that were affecting these patients. So again, it's the information is out there. It's just a matter of how you want to use it. And when we focus on being more mindful about what goes in our mouth, we absolutely have the opportunity to create positive change. And we all have that ability. It's just a matter of being devoted to our health. And what I would like to say is that, or what I would like to add to this is when we eat a balanced diet that includes whole grains on a daily basis, we are working towards healing our gut, healing the microbiome in our gut, healing if you have leaky gut. And again, that's another thing that didn't even touch on today. The leaky gut and also affecting, pardon me, it almost sounds like a bad word, affecting the blood-brain barrier that's up here. These are so many, there are so many connections for what's going on in here. So if we start healing our gut, which, like I mentioned, eating whole grains that are prepared properly on a regular basis, we can start to heal this process in here. And we start to heal this process up here naturally and for the benefit of for the rest of your life. This is, and again, like it's a little bit of a heavy topic, but actually not really, because these are concepts and things that I talk about regularly. And the more that we start to say, hey, yeah, I want to do better here. I want to do better here. I want to think more. I want to live a life with my children and my grandchildren. I want to be, living out my purpose on this planet. I want to share the good things. I want to be able to do my job well and have all these, amazing things in my life. But if you're stuck in a depressive, anxious, and traumatic, suicidal space up here, you can't do those things. Those are logic. We don't need scientific studies to prove that. Although, if you want, absolutely, the scientific studies are already out there and available for all of us. So what I really would like to suggest for you is eat a balanced diet that includes whole grains on a regular basis, because that will help to heal your gut and to provide you with the energy you need. You will begin to feel better physically if you do these. You will have more energy, and you will be able to do things with more joy, or able to do the things that bring you joy. And then the cycle continues. Eating that healthy diet, feeling better physically and mentally, getting more energy, doing the things that bring you joy in life, eating healthy, feeling better, having more energy to do those things, and enjoying the things that you want to do in life. You can see it's a very beautiful cycle, but you must take the steps to devote yourself to eating healthy foods on a regular basis. I don't mean eating one whole grain meal a week. That might be where you need to start if you've never or haven't eaten whole grains in a long time. And you think, ugh, I don't like rice. Ugh, I don't like pearl barley. Ugh, I don't like millet. Ugh, I don't like amaranth. All these different things. Ugh, I don't even know what that tastes like. Probably most of you, or I shouldn't say that, but there's a lot of people I know out there that don't even know what a lot of those grains taste like because they don't eat them regularly. Maybe they tried them once and it was, prepared this way, and they say, oh, I don't like quinoa anymore because it's blah, blah, this. And okay, so, I mean, not everybody likes everything. That's fine too. So maybe you don't eat that one specific grain, but there's a plethora of grains out there. And depending on where you live in this world, you might have different grains that I've never even heard of. For example, in the Philippines, I was introduced to a new grain called adlai. Absolutely delicious. It has this nutty flavor. It's so beautiful. If you live in the Philippines and you're watching this video and you don't know about adlai, I strongly suggest finding it. You can find it at some of the organic markets out there. I'm pretty sure you can also find it at even some of the fresh markets already out there as well. It's becoming more and more popular. It is so delicious and absolutely nutritious and healthy and amazing. And of course, when we can eat local, it's always better for us as well. Um, and like I say, it doesn't happen necessarily with one meal a week, or even if you ate whole grains for 1 week, it doesn't mean you're going to see that shift right away. These kinds of things take time to heal. Think about all the years that you've you or we have potentially damaged what's going on inside, myself included. I like I mentioned to you as a child earlier, and these kinds of things, what I've done in my life. So the healing process is not just like you turn a light switch on and all of a sudden you're healed. It's a lifelong process, but you will reap the benefits if you do the work. Absolutely. And so will the people in your life. And especially if you're the one who's cooking in your kitchen, they will reap the benefits as well, because it comes with dialogue and talking about making these changes, because we're going to eat this way because it helps XYZ. Also, for example, without getting into it too deep, people with ADHD, absolutely, you can start to shift the problem or the diagnosis if you work on what's going on in here. Again, I'm not saying that medication is not necessary. I don't know your situation or your child's situation, but when we go parallel with, if you feel like pharmaceutical medication is necessary, running parallel with a healthy foundational nutritional diet, you will see improvements as well. And perhaps you will have the opportunity in the future to get off that medicine and not have to be reliant on it. So you can see where I'm headed with that. And if you are ready to take an empowered approach to your health, I would really like for you to listen to the next few minutes so I can just go over my upcoming program that I am so excited to share with you. Nutritionally Empowered Transformations. It's an amazing program. It really is. And I'm so excited. We're only 2 weeks away. I cannot wait for you to join and to be a part of this if you are ready to step up and really make this journey a part of your life. The program dates, it's starting on Monday, April 4th. So 4/4/22. I really love dates and numbers, as I mentioned earlier. And it goes for 3 months. So it's going to finish actually on the 22nd of June. So 22/6/22. And actually that goes slightly over 3 months because I have a bonus celebration call on there on the end that we would have all our regular program information. And then I have another call for us to celebrate because of all the amazing transformations that you've been through by that time. The foundational price is €888. So again, I'm working with numbers there because I like these kinds of energetic components. So again, it's in a foundational members price because I really want to give you the opportunity to step into this program that is affordable for you. And if you feel like it might not be affordable for you, or you have a hard time to think about putting that kind of money out right away, you can set up a clarity call with me and we can talk about payment options as well, because I'm absolutely understanding and I understand that that is a reality for some people, and we can work it out. We can work it out together. Don't be shy. Let's move forward together. I'm really here and I really want to help people who are ready to step into this empowered transformation, because I've done it. I've created this amazing package and program for you, and I really am so excited to share it with you. Absolutely. Some of the outcomes that you will get from this program: you will be self-empowered with knowledge and wisdom from TCM Nutrition. You don't need to go to China. You don't need to study from anybody else. You will have this information by joining this program. Absolutely. And you will have the recordings of the classes and the recordings of the material that I provide for you. Absolutely. It's yours to look back on and to keep the notes for yourself for the rest of your life. You will know and understand how to practically and creatively apply your skills in your everyday life. So you will know how to do this. You'll have the information, you'll know how to use it. You will also notice improvements in numerous areas of your life, including mental, physical, and emotional. If you are devoted to making this transformation work for you, it will give you these outcomes. Absolutely, you will be seeing positive outcomes. It's not a doubt in my mind. If you don't do the work, I can't guarantee you're going to get the outcomes. That's natural. Okay, so you have to be able and willing to say, yes, I want this for myself and for my family and my loved ones. And that brings me to the last point of the outcome: that you will be equipped with nutritionally empowering tools to support you and your loved ones for the rest of your life, which is amazing. It's absolutely amazing. It really is. And if any of this information resonates with you, I really encourage you to let me know. We can set up a clarity call. It's not a sales call, it's a clarity call to see if this is the right program for you. And if it's not, I might have a recommendation for somebody else for you. And if it is, then I will happy to have you join the program because it's going to be absolutely amazing. And the program is only 2 weeks away, just under 2 weeks away, actually. And the doors are going to be closing even before that because the doors are not open until it starts on that day, right? So thank you so much for being here. I will put a link in the comments to book your clarity call with me. You can also send me a message on Facebook. You can email me as well at ninalaurie@easternbalance.com. And Nina's name has two letter I's in it. Absolutely feel free to reach out. Don't be shy. I am not here to pressure you into anything. I do genuinely want you and everybody on this planet to step up so we can all be nutritionally empowered, so we can all live a better life for ourselves, for the future generations, and for the health of our planet. I sincerely wish you all the best. I thank you for being here and listening to me today. If you are challenged with mental health issues, send me a message. Let's look at your nutrition and see what we can do for you, because there is definitely solutions that are available. Thank you so much once again. Take care, and I'll see you next week for sure, if not before that. Bye bye for now.